So this is the art of aging, engaging with lifelong learners.
I'm Milena Acosta, Associate Director of Community Engagement at the Natural History Museums of Los Angeles County.
My name is Jacqueline Estrada, and I'm a Program Manager for Community Engagement at the Natural History Museums of Los Angeles County.
My name is Baya Louie. I work with the seniors at Ahmanson Senior Center, and I'm a recreation coordinator with the City of Los Angeles Department of Recreation and Parks. I've been with the City of LA 23 years now.
So a little bit about what to expect in this presentation. This is a pre-recorded session that's going to explore innovative approaches to senior-focused programming in the context of museums. Goal is to highlight how these institutions can serve as spaces for lifelong learning, social connections, and well-being. And this specific exploration is going to be anchored by a case study of our collaboration with the Ahmanson Senior Center, showcasing real-world strategies and the outcomes. So, Baya, tell us a little bit about the Ahmanson Senior Center.
The Ahmanson Senior Center, we service seniors 55 and over, but not just seniors at 55 and over. We welcome everyone between the ages of 18 on up. And the reason why we do that is because we have a certain population of those that are physically challenged, so they can't participate in a regular program. But because we do run the senior center at a slower pace, and we do have all the accessibilities like an elevator, ramps at our entrances and exits, things like that, it's better for us to go from 18. So we do have some that are not seniors, but we like to service the community in every capacity we can by offering classes, everything from dance classes to computer classes.
What other kind of classes do you guys have at the Senior Center, Baya?
We have, okay, the good stuff, what they would say is our dance classes. So we offer a mambo class, salsa class, and line dancing class. And believe it or not, we have square dancing on Thursday nights. So, so many different classes. And then on the tech side, we try to get them a little tech savvy. We have computer classes, and we also offer a smartphone class because, yes, a lot of the seniors, their children or grandchildren buy them all of these devices that they don't know how to use. So we help them out we have a certified instructor that comes out and teaches them.
Wonderful. And what kind of field trips do you guys take? Do you guys have stuff that you do offsite?
We will take field trips. Last year we went to medieval times. We've gone to the Arboretum in Arcadia. We try to take them on different trips where some of them never been before, the LA County Fair. So we will get on a bus and we will go on trips. We've actually taken the Metro with the program called Metro on the Move through Metro. And we took the Expo line all the way down to Santa Monica Beach. Spent the day out there. They went shopping. They had lunch. Went on the beach a little bit. Turned around, came back. So we do go on field trips.
That's awesome. It's great that you offer such a variety to the seniors. I also wanted to take a moment to talk about how the relationship between the Senior Center and the Natural History Museum started.
The Natural History Museum is just down the street from this amazing senior center, right? There are a group of thriving older adults that are here led by Baya. And so when we started to work with Expo Center, which actually has a very long history with the Natural History Museum, today we're giving you an example of one of many different kind of engagements that have happened over many years, right? Both of our institutions have been in Exposition Park for a long time. And so when we started to engage with the Expo Center, when community engagement really formed at the museum, one of the reasons it was so easy to work with Expo Center, not only because of Baya, who you're hearing from, who's amazing and easy to work with, is seniors are invested in their neighborhood. They're invested in where they come and show up. And so when we came to them and say, hey, we're the museum, we want to learn how to build a better community with you. We hosted these conversations with the seniors in English and Spanish. And I'm sure Maya will tell you, seniors do not shy away from telling you what they want, what they like, what they don't like, and the opportunities for improvement. And so from those conversations, it became clear that the seniors enjoy healthy lifestyles. They want to think about their well-being. And so when Bai and I sat down to kind of debrief about these conversations, it became evident that they wanted to move their bodies, they wanted to walk, they wanted to do things. And the museum was well poised, being just up the street, to dive into exploring what that looked like.
And it wasn't even at the museum per se. I was told that we were having partners, and I hadn't met Milena yet. So we were going back and forth through emails, things like that, and they had community talk. They wanted to do like a community survey, what those in the community thought of different things. So we going back and forth. We finally get a date. She comes out, and we're talking, and I like to ask for things. So it's like, how can the seniors get down to the Natural History Museum? Is there some way we can go down? So we start talking about the garden and things like that. Oh, close enough. Can we walk down to the garden? And I believe it started off as a one-time deal, and then said, well, after that time, it was like, hey, how about we make this a regular thing? So okay, let's work on that. And that's how that came about.
I'd almost add to something here. Yeah. I would say, as Baya is saying, it was a conversation between him and I on like, let's try it out. The museum, one of the aspects that's important for people to know that we do in community engagement is we call everything a pilot and we try, right? The moment you make something into like, we're having this big initiative and we're gonna just do this thing, that can make people nervous. And so we started out with like, let's just try it. You have seniors who want to go on morning strolls. We have a garden that looks beautiful in the morning. How about they power walk on over and we do some sort of engagement in the garden and see what that looks like. It was like our pilot of it. And when you co-create with a partner, with Baya, who tells you, okay, this is the time that works because I'm not going to get them here any earlier than that. And you know what? They love the VIP vibes of opening up before the museum opens. And they like X, Y, and Z. We took all of that in. And so when you co-create and collaborate, of course the seniors are going to love it. Of course Baya is going to be happy with it because it was driven by what the partner wants. And so when we said we piloted it out, we tried it, it was lovely. We're like, let's make this a series and let's make it so that they form a relationship with the garden, with the museum. They see the garden changing over the seasons, and there's always food. There's always a snack. There's always something because Baya said that was important. And so we listened to Baya to keep the seniors happy. And really this listening that we did helped anchor what it is they do when they get to the museum, right? They want to see themselves represented not only as people, but also in the interests that they have. And so this listening helps shape the what that happens at the museum every time they walked in through the door, but also just how we engage with them. Like, we're committed to be a museum that listens. And so we started with listening with the seniors. And so we come back to that always on what kind of relationship they want to have with the museum is based on the things that we've already heard. They've already told us what they wanted. They never said, I want the museum to give me a senior stroll and go off to the gardens. They said, I like healthy living. I want to see myself represented. I want to find community. I want to find togetherness to bridge and bond with others. And so that's what is at the root of the program. But they just don't really know what they're getting themselves into. And then of course they love it because we're co-creating with their leadership. What the seniors told us after we did the listening, as you can see, this is kind of a summarizing statement. We did 90 minutes of listening to seniors, and this is what 90 minutes condensed down into a very long run-on sentence gets you. The seniors wanted to have a relationship with the Expo Park neighbors, with the museums that exist on here. They wanted to have a voice in community building in that and kind of be represented in decision making as the bigger, broader stuff. They wanted to know that the park values their opinions. And that they use it weekly, that they're here, right? They have a presence. And so that was really an important message to say, like, they just wanted to get to know us. And so this program does that, aside from the healthy living components and the things that we teach them about the garden. They wanted to build a relationship with us, and they build a relationship with Jackie, with the team, but also with our horticulture team, with the museum educators, with the living collections folks, with research and collections, whoever they engage with at any point of those senior walks. That's the relationship they want. They want to have a relationship with us.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about like why the focus is on seniors for this and why it's important for us to connect with the senior center. So as the global population continues to age, we really believe that museums must adapt their community engagement strategies to include inclusive and dynamic programming for older adults. As older adults seek more intellectual engagement and opportunities, museums and other cultural spaces are ideal for them to sate their curiosity and discovery. One of the things that we also value is the cultural wisdom and storytelling that comes with senior programming. It provides seniors the opportunity to bring in their lived experiences and share cultural knowledge that we feel really like enriches community dialogue and plays a part in intergenerational learning. So it's always really great to hear like a connection that a senior can bring in from their personal life when they're talking to people here at the museum, whether it's us as educators or like with the research and collections folks or with our horticulture team. And then we really feel that tailoring programs to meet the needs of older adults supports many institutions' broader goals of inclusion, diversity, and accessibility, making sure that all visitors are able to be engaged at the museum. And engaging seniors overall strengthens community ties and positions the museum as a welcoming hub for all stages of life. So I'd like to ask Baya to share a little bit about what people need to know when reaching out to senior centers to work together.
First of all, when you come into a community, you want to learn the community. You want to know what their needs are, what their preferences are, what they like to do. And if you worked in seniors with the seniors at another center in another part of the city, or even it could literally be across the street, don't make assumptions that they both like the same things, or they both want to do the same things, or the needs are the same, because they're not. That's the reason why one group goes to one center and the other group goes to another center. So that's one of the big things that one should know when they're coming in to work with seniors. Also, be cognizant of their abilities and things that they may need and may not need, and don't assume that they always need this or they always need that. And then don't look at what they can't do. Look at what they can do. Don't look at their limitations. Treat them. You pretty much want to offer the same thing for them all. Just like you do with children, you wouldn't segregate those that didn't have the same capabilities as the others. No, you want them all to be on the same playing field. So you want to do the same thing with seniors. Don't go in making assumptions. Don't talk to them like they're invalids. Have a regular conversation with them. Talk to them, they will talk to you, and then you will learn more about them that way than coming in making assumptions and things like that.
And telling them what they need.
Then tell them what they need. You need this or you need, they will quickly let you know that no, we don't need this and we don't need that. I was already used to being around seniors. So when I started working with seniors, it was a good transition from working with the youth to working with seniors, because I had already been around them for so long, most of my life. It was great though. They give so much knowledge. Listen to them and you will learn something because they've been here longer.
I also wanted to ask, so if like another organization was coming to a senior center, like is there a type of programming or like time of day or seasonality that works best? Or is that also dependent on each senior center?
It depends on each senior center, because I can speak for our senior center. I have to do an annual calendar. So I have to plan things out for the whole entire year. So when another entity wants to come in and work with me, we have to talk about things in advance because I might already have a full calendar for that month. And then we have to wait. We'll find times. And then times where we might have to do this 6 months or a year in advance and set dates, which is fine with me. But, and it depends on the weather, what we're doing with that program, things like that. Since we are talking about seniors and their engagement with museums, our relationship with the Natural History Museum. Okay, we try to do our walks now called strolls throughout the year. That did not work. In the wintertime, it was too cold and rainy. In the summertime, it was way too hot. So that affects participation. So what we did was we narrowed it down to the spring. March through June, the weather is pretty cooperative. So will our seniors be. So we want to get as many of our members out and participating as possible. So we have to be conscious of, okay, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it rainy? Is it because any fluctuation, you might not get the participation that you're looking for. So yeah, it's definitely they when we partner with someone, we have to take in everything. Weather, location, content. Seniors are particular. So you have
They know
to,
what they want.
they know what they want. And if you working with them, and like I'll say, I'm responsible for their happiness. So as long as they're happy, then I'm doing a good job. If they're not happy, then I take it personally. So I always want them to be happy. So
Thank you, Baya.
you're welcome.
And so the result was the Senior Strolls at the Natural History Museum. So here we have some pictures of what they look like. Like Baya mentioned, they started off with like a walk to the garden and exploring the garden. But again, like the interests of the seniors start to come out as they get more comfortable at the museum, and we have been able to bring out our horticulture team who has harvested herbs from our edible garden to make tea. They've cut flowers to make bouquets for Mother's Day. And we've had other research and collections folks come out and do bird counts with the seniors in the early morning. One of our great experiences lately was a very like opportune moment for intergenerational learning. The teens at the Expo Center down the street from us were able to complete an internship here at the Natural History Museum to talk about comfort in nature and talking to the community about outdoor natural spaces. They were then able to showcase their skills to the seniors from the Ahmanson Senior Center, and it led to this really great moment of the seniors sharing what they enjoyed about the hike and learning from the teens. And I think coming from seniors, the teens felt like that was really impactful and they felt like they were doing good because these older adults that are experienced and know the world were commending them on their job. Anything you'd like to add to that, Baya?
Yeah, they did enjoy that because the trip was to the old zoo in Griffith Park. Some of them had actually been to that zoo when it was operational. So as the teens were telling them about things, I can hear them talking about my mom brought me here, or I remember coming here with my siblings, or things like that. And they just got excited all over again. And it's a difference between the way the animals were kept then and the way they're kept now. But since they were there and they witnessed it all, saying at one point they showed the polar bear enclosure and they had a chain where the polar bear was actually chained to that. And they were like, oh yeah, I remember. The chain was around his ankle. And so they went into a more explicit detail, even better than a picture, because they were there.
They were there.
picture is an interpretation. You can look at it and not know exactly what happened, but
One moment, like 1 second.
exactly. So those seniors were there and they had such a good time and they like seeing the youth do things that are positive and not just on their phones or playing video games or it's being so introverted. But these teens were out there and they led the group. They did everything from start to finish and they had something to say about, they did a presentation on their section as they walked through, and they accommodated our seniors so well. They looked after our seniors, and they did a really, really good job. So that part was amazing to see them do that. And to add, our preschool also comes and participates in activities over here at the museum. And our seniors also interact with those preschoolers. Every year for the past couple of years now, during the month of March, which is National Reading Month, they read to. So one year it was a cat in a hat theme. I know this year our creative writing team and our book club actually wrote their own story and read that to the preschoolers. Yes. So we have so many different things for these seniors to do. So our creative writing class, it has dwindled a bit, and unfortunately, we have lost some of those seniors. But before all of that, these seniors actually published their own memoir. So, and it's for sale on Amazon if you would like to check it out. But yeah, so the seniors and the museum have such a collaborative relationship because some of these seniors have been here for so long. They remember when the garden wasn't there.
Mhm.
You know, they remember when certain parts of the museum wasn't there. So they can tell you things that other people can't, especially if they're from this area. So we've had such a great time collaborating, being partners with the Los Angeles County Museum of Natural History. You know, we've had a good time. It's been really, really good experience, and it'll continue. It will definitely continue.
And so we've been really grateful for our partnership with the Senior Center in allowing us to come in and share our resources and make sure that this is a museum that the seniors can see themselves at, they feel accepted at, that they feel is accessible to them, and that they're able to build a relationship with.
I think, if you're a museum listening to this, I think the important, like whoever listens here, the important takeaway for museums is that you very likely have a senior center nearby that has very active seniors who are looking for engagement. They sometimes have transportation or not, or they're within walking distance, or there's metro. There are very simplified resources. We spend very little budget on making this happen. We probably pay the most on snacks because you got to feed the seniors some snacks and have some tea or coffee in the morning. But the rest is just expertise from the staff and somebody welcoming them in, whether it happened before hours or during. It doesn't take much, right? What it takes is forming a relationship and knowing that it's not going to be an episodic relationship, that it's going to be long-term and establishing it. The bigger picture here too is that before Baya, Jackie, and Yelena, the museum had a relationship with Expo Center, and all we've done is carry that on and make it strong so that it'll sustain past our time, right? That it's institutionalized, not only here at the museum, but hopefully also at Expo, so that it continues to go. And maybe one day, yes, more budget will be allocated to it, hopefully, but if not, we kind of can do a lot with a little on a shoestring budget to make sure that the seniors feel special, have a good time, and that we're listening to all the ways in which those good times are had, right? And sometimes it's just a matter of building community in the museum together with museum staff.